Alright, welcome to day 81 of Mastering Astral Projection. This is also the falling method, walking and falling. So one of the daily tips for today is the running and jumping method. You can imagine that there are a series of large puddles in front of you and you're jumping over the puddles. And you can make the puddles as big as you want, and the length that you jump can be extraordinary. The other thing you can do is imagine that you're on the moon and you're in a spacesuit, and all of your running and jumping has a different gravitational effect so that you can actually span really great distances. So experiment with that, see how it works for you. You can put obstacles in there, ravines, rocks, boulders, things like that. In fact, you could even do a series of lakes and jump over lakes, however you want to do that. So the concept is just to get the feeling of running and jumping a great distance so that the falling effect is tangible. You know, you can feel it in the pit of your stomach. I've found that when I do the falling techniques, I do it on an exhale. So I breathe in, and then I jump or get ready for my fall, and then when I fall, I exhale. And that's the thing that seems to propel me. But the thing that's interesting about that is that you can't really keep your breath smooth and constant. But it's very similar to how some people breathe when they're sleeping. I think I mentioned this before, that some people take a big deep breath in and they let it out really fast. So I think we had talked before about recording yourself when you're sleeping to see what you breathe like when you sleep. I actually haven't done that yet, and I've been kind of curious, although I have a feeling that that's the way that I breathe when I'm sleeping, like a big inhale and then a quick exhale. But yeah, maybe I'll do that and I'll get back to you. I'll let you know. And then once I do it, then I won't be just telling you to do it. I will have done it myself, and I won't be a hypocrite. In the book is Body Magnetism. This is body gravity. Feels like an invisible tether is attached to your projectable double, and it's pulling you back into your physical body. If you remember, one of the techniques is actually the kind of a magnetic technique where you're, I think he calls it the focus method, where you're outside of your body and imagining that, say, your shoulders are trying to connect to your physical shoulders. Your feet are trying to connect to your physical feet. I've used this a bit where I imagine myself struggling to pull away from my physical body, and that's a good way of doing energy loosening, but it's also a good way to energize the projectable body double. And it works pretty well. I played with it a bit. The lucidology guy, Mr. Newport, he has a magnetic method as well. You imagine these big balls of magnets, and they're sitting somewhere up above your body, and imagine that your body's attracted to them so that it's pulling your projectable body double out. You can play with that a bit too. In this case, the body magnetism, you're trying to find a solution to the problem that the physical body wants to pull your projectable body double back into it. So you really, it can be that your physical body, mind, is still too awake. So it hasn't quite gone to sleep enough, and that's why it's pulling you back. And it also can be that it's starting to fall too deeply asleep. So you got to find the balance in there. And one of the solutions is actually to get at least 20 feet away from the physical body. So, and the other means to overcome this is to launch into the astral planes. The other thing is a fearful presence, what they call the fearful presence syndrome. This is when the physical body mind is still so lucid and aware, and partly in a paralyzed state after a projection has occurred. And this is because you're feeling the projectable body double. So there's still an awareness going on of it, and your awareness is still in the physical body. Sometimes it's the physical aspect is unaware of shadow memories, so you don't actually remember that the projectable body double has come back in, but you feel it. So Sometimes you see it as a ghostly image, and basically you just, it's a matter of getting used to the fact that sometimes consciousness is aware of the projectable body double, and sometimes you just need to wait for it to come back into the body, so that you are not having the fearful presence feeling. Astral feedback is another issue. This is when the physical body mind is still awake and alert, and with astral sight, and observes telepathically the projectable body double. I guess it's very rare when it happens, but it can be like kind of like a PA system, like when you get guitar too close to the amplifier, and there's a magnetic pull, and it shakes the speaker, something like that. And basically, it just requires distance. Same way with the guitar, you just got to pull the guitar away from the amp. So, I think I'll go with that for now. So now I'll tell you about my experience. I wasn't really expecting to have the time to do astral projection today because I just got home. I've been gone for the last, 13 hours. And I'm tired. But I woke up at 5:30 this morning and I couldn't sleep. So I decided to practice in bed. And I did this for quite a while and had some really interesting experiences. I was laying on my back, keeping my body completely still, and I, for the first time, got the rushing sound in my ears. The rushing sound is kind of like listening to a waterfall. I didn't get it heavily, and I mostly got it in my left ear, but it was unmistakable, and it was the first time I ever heard it. So it was very subtle, and it was kind of coming in and out. But I definitely got it. That's a good sign for me because that's one of the things that happens before you feel the heart pounding, which I haven't had that sensation yet. Although I think I may have gotten close to it. There was a time where I felt like my heartbeat was incredibly strong. I think it happened about a week ago. But I didn't. I think it was just my sensitivity to my actual heart pounding. So. The other thing was that I was on my back for quite a while. I went through a whole range of techniques. I was getting a lot of sponging sensation, energy sensation in my legs as well as my arms, which was another good sign. And I got to a point though where I was kind of going in and out. I thought I might get to the place where I could get one of the techniques to elicit the response that I was looking for, and didn't happen. But then I got to this place where I got really tired of laying in that position. Newport talks about staying in that position even when you're really uncomfortable, but it was almost as if the moment had passed or something. So I kind of gave up and I rolled over onto my side. Well, that was an interesting experience because what I started feeling, which I haven't felt for a long time, which is this like electric water. It's the only way I can really describe it. It's like this electrical sensation that comes in through your head, and it feels like water though, the way that it like it's dripping through you. And it was a little bit different this time though. What would happen is I would get this really strange pulse sensation and this electrical water sensation, and it'd be like boom, and then it would stop for a minute, and then it would come back, boom, and it did it probably like, here, I'll do it again for you. It was like 5 or 6 times that it did this, and I was like, wow, that's an interesting sensation. And then I fell asleep, or I went into a hypnagogic dream experience, and I had a few really interesting dreams. One of them was so peculiar. This woman, her house was being invaded by 3 large robots, and she was able to destroy 2 of them, but when she was trying to get to the 3rd one, it vanished. Like it had some mechanism it was sending out an alert response to someone, and then it vanished, and she was like, crap, I blew it again. And she went running out of the house that she was in, and she went and jumped into a car and took something from this guy. She was sitting in the passenger seat of a large SUV, and what she had taken from this guy was a large, what looked like an aluminum canister, and she said, I'm going to have to do this, and I'm going to need to communicate with this. And she went and dumped the thing on her head, and it was like silver metallic liquid, like molten aluminum or something, and suddenly her whole body was turning into aluminum, and she grew this mouth on the side of her, and there was a guy sitting in the back seat, and she explained, I have to do this, and you need to help me, and he was like, okay, and he did something to help adjust her or something, and all of a sudden she started talking out of this mouth that was coming out of this aluminum body she now had. It was really weird. It has to do with something to do with transformation. I don't know exactly what the metallic thing was, unless it's like a new body or a new form. I haven't quite gotten into analyzing it, but it was really interesting. Anyway, I think it's enough for tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to get to this tomorrow, but for sure on Sunday. So, ciao.